start with that breaking news. A North Carolina pastor just filed a lawsuit to hold services again inside the church. And he's one of 200 pastors and other leaders who formed Return America, and they want the governor to ease restrictions on worship. Let's turn now to Channel 9's Ken Lemon. He has followed this story over the last week, and he joins us live. Ken.
Yeah, and a rally in Raleigh just wrapped up a few minutes ago. That rally is aimed at moving church worship services from parking lots like this, where worship outside is allowed, back into churches. And the pastor from Shining Light Baptist Church in Monroe was there with them. That group leading the effort, Return America, shared a live feed of that rally outside the legislative building in the Capitol. The rally itself coincides with the suit that they filed to overturn the governor's order. It restricts gathering of 10 or more people to prevent the spread of COVID-19. That order extends into church. Pastor Tim Cruz of Monroe said that order infringes on the right of the freedom of religion, so he is there to support suing the governor.
Church is a community, and we connect together and be able to come together and to speak to one another. You can't really make a difference at a distance in someone's life.
Now, Return America says that suit is to help all churches in the state, but some churches do not agree. Starting at 5 o'clock, you'll hear from a pastor who says that the governor's order protects members of his church. Damani.
All right, Ken Lemon reporting live for us tonight. Thank you so much for that. Well, right now, for most churches in North Carolina, you must have outdoor services. You can either stay in your cars for a drive-in style service or get out as long as you practice social distancing of 6 feet apart and wear masks. Places of worship won't be able to let people inside until phase 2, which won't happen until at least May 22nd. And even then, it will only be at 50% capacity. And also breaking right now, roughly 3 million more people have applied for unemployment in the last week. Action 9 investigator Jason Stujenki is live for us now. And Jason, put this all into perspective for us.
Yeah, Damani, as you know, this all started back the middle of March. So here we are now, almost the 2-month mark. And with those new numbers out, you add them together and the total unemployment claims are up to 36.5 million. Now, you remember last week, the unemployment rate, which we all look at so carefully, that rate for April, the first full month of the pandemic, came out, and that was 14.7%. But the government says it was probably closer to 20%, and experts predict the May number to be worse. But there is some good news. Last week was the 8th week in a row the number of people filing their initial unemployment claim went down. So it's not necessarily getting worse. We certainly hope that's the case, that things are going to start to plateau. And as we go back to work, folks will be able to get off unemployment and those numbers will actually turn around, go the other direction. Now, I did check a little while ago, a couple of numbers I want to pass along to you, how much money both North and South Carolina have paid out so far because of the pandemic. North Carolina, almost $1.8 billion. South Carolina, more than $830 million. Damani?
Wow, it puts it all into perspective. Jason, thank you so much for that. Well, we know there are a lot of questions about the job market right now, everything from when the economy will turn around to what to do if you're looking for a job. Career expert Chris Shelley says you may need to see if your skills can apply to other jobs.
You got to look at what the skills you have and see if you can relate them to another profession for right now. The job that you might want, the long-term career that you might want, may not be available right now. It may not be available in the next 30 days.
Well, Shelley says now is the time to increase your market value. Look at what transferable skills you have, looking outside your previous career, and see where those skills overlap. Well, North Carolina has been monitoring several key metrics to gauge whether the state could be ready to move into the next phase. And one of those metrics is the percentage of positive total tests. Take a look here. New numbers came out just in the last hour. Yesterday's count shows 7% of the total tests were positive. That's up from 6% the day before. We hit a low on Monday with just 5% of total tests coming back positive. And to give you an idea of the improvement, North Carolina saw its high in mid-April, where 17% of the total tests were positive. Well, as many states try to slowly reopen, the state of Wisconsin is taking it a step further. Check it out here. The state Supreme Court overturned the governor's stay-at-home order overnight. It led to this: packed bars and restaurants. The state Supreme Court called the restrictions unconstitutional and unenforceable. Well, the nation's top infectious disease doctor says the U.S. needs to be cautious when reopening. Now the president is saying he's surprised by those comments.
It's just, to me, it's not an acceptable answer, especially when it comes to schools. Oh, I think they should open the schools, absolutely. I think they should. I don't consider our country coming back if the schools are closed.
Dr. Fauci also noted that there's no cookie-cutter approach to opening schools because things are different in every state. Well, the shortage of meat is extending beyond the grocery stores to some of North Carolina's barbecue joints. JD's Smokehouse posted this online saying that they cannot serve their famous brisket because, well, they don't have any. Our Dave Faraday is live in Conley Springs for us. And Dave, you just spoke with the restaurant.
Yeah, I did get a chance to talk with the owner. He's actually out in the parking lot right now taking orders. Each day, Damani, they get more than 1,000 people show up here at JD Smokehouse in the Rutherford College area for either lunch or dinner, but those customers won't be getting a brisket after lunchtime today. Take a look at some of this video that we shot earlier. We could see the long line of cars here at JD Smokehouse where they serve more than 1,500 people each day. One of their more popular meals is brisket, but the owner tells me prices for meat has doubled and he can't find any suppliers. They are still serving barbecue pork and chicken, but are down to their last few dozen plates of brisket for lunchtime today. We spoke with the owner about the meat shortage here.
So the challenge is kind of the middleman. We have plenty of people that want to eat, and we would love to serve them, but acquiring the product has been the biggest problem.
Some folks showed up actually early today when they heard that they were about to run out of brisket here at JD Smokehouse. They wanted to get one of those last few plates. I asked the owner, I said, how long before you think you'd get some of those supplies back? He told me it could be several weeks. Back to you.
Well, we can only hope that it is shorter than that. Thanks a lot, Dave. And for the second time this week, hundreds of people showed up at a mobile food pantry in Union County. Take a look here. This video is from just the last 2 hours, and you can see cars just wrapped around the Food Lion parking lot in Indian Trail. It was a similar sight on Tuesday in Monroe when nearly 380 families showed up. Common Heart says there is growing need for these mobile pantries as people lose their jobs and grocery store prices rise. Well, coming up today at 5 p.m., we'll show you a closer look at this effort and how a retired CMPD officer surprised some families before they even made it to the front of the line. Well, this is a big issue for a lot of families out there, so we partnered with Second Harvest Food Bank to make sure our families don't go hungry. We've raised $90,000 so far, and if you are in the position to help, you can donate by going to 9fooddrive.com. Well, new at noon, remdesivir, the only drug so far to have shown some promise as a treatment, is in short supply. The state of California, in guidance to hospitals, said it will consider a lottery to decide which patients will get it. That's because there's not nearly enough of the drug to go around. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services hasn't explained how they decided how much remdesivir is sent to each state or why some places got it before others. Well, many of us have been wearing a mask for weeks now, but experts say a lot of us may be unaware of the risk we're taking while wearing one. The CDC says all masks should allow for some breathing room. Well, that means that your mask should fit well, but not to the point where it feels tight on your face. What doctors suggest everyone wash their mask every few days. Avoid wearing ones with sequins or glitter. Those tend to harbor bacteria. Well, a local NASCAR racing team is using its downtime to build special equipment for Novant Health. Kannapolis-based Stewart-Haas Racing has had a team in its shop building webcam carts for more than a month now. That's according to our partners at the Independent Tribune. The carts have a built-in camera and help doctors check in on patients remotely. They had been on back order, and Novant Health was having trouble putting them in hospitals. Stewart-Haas has already designed and delivered 10 to Novant. It plans to manufacture another 110. And Stuart Haas already donated 2 million face masks to Novant Health earlier this month, helped them get that shipment. They sent 2 trucks 10 hours away to pick up the masks and bring them back. Novant said the delivery helped replenish its supplies for its workers. Well, the FBI is reviewing North Carolina Senator Richard Burr's cell phone after seizing it last night. The Los Angeles Times reports the Justice Department is now looking at Burr's communications with his broker. In February, Senator Burr, who chairs the Senate Intelligence Committee, unloaded 33 stocks worth millions of dollars right before the markets tanked. Burr says his decision to sell those stocks was based on public news reports.